Hey everyone, it's Patty Davis with Crooked Tree Creations, and today I'm going to show you how to make a dragon wreath, but a little bit different from the norm. Let's get started. So I told you what I was going to do is going to be a little bit different than normal. Instead of a UITC board, I am going to just use a 14-inch form from the Dollar Tree. And instead of putting the petals on the front, we are going to use the back. And in order to do that, we're going to use plastic canvas. Again, this is the 5 mesh. We don't want to use the 7 mesh. And this plastic canvas is only 13.5 inches wide. So with this form, it's going to not fit completely. We're going to have to piece just that little 1/2 inch there. I will show you how it's done. It's very simple. You just use zip ties to put it together, put little scrap pieces in there. It's fine. Take a Sharpie, go around the inside, go around the outside, and cut it out. And then I will show you how to piece it together and then attach it to the ring form, okay? So after tracing out the form, I cut the plastic canvas around the outside. Then I have to cut through to get to the inside and cut that out. I then cut a small piece of plastic canvas for that small section and put all of it back together using 4-inch zip ties. Okay, so we have this that we pieced together. Just going to put this over top, flip it over. And I'm going to use the 4-inch zip ties on both the inner ring and the outer ring just to keep it onto the form. Use as many zip ties as you're comfortable with. I would use at least one on each side for each section, but 2 couldn't hurt. Here, I'm going to do it this way. Okay, so I have this wide foil mesh that I cut in 10 by 10 pieces. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take it from one tip up to the other to make a triangle. Then fold this over. Okay, this is what they call the Star Trek petal here. Okay, because it's shaped as the Star Trek symbol. And then we're going to fold it one more time. Okay, kind of keep this corner here and fold that over. Now, this kind of already has a slight arch to it, but you might want to kind of pull on it just to make sure it has a little bit of an arch. Then I'm going to take a 4-inch zip tie. You can use a rubber band if you want to, but I am going to kind of measure out about 7 inches just so we know we have the exact same amount on all of them, and then zip tie it shut. But see how this kind of gaps a little bit, and it just doesn't seem to be together as much as I would like for it to be. I am going to take some hot glue, kind of run a bead right down there. And then I'm going to take clothespins and kind of pin it together. Now this still gaps down here too. So I want to take some hot glue here too. Kind of run a bead and then put a clothespin right there. Okay? And I'm going to do that to all of these, and I'll show you what it's like whenever it dries. Okay, so this lime green one is still drying, but I did these gold already. I'm just going to snip off the ends of the zip ties and then take these off. And you can just see it's kind of, they kind of stay together a lot better. There's not that huge gap there. And that way it'll lay a lot flatter. Now you can kind of see here, it kind of has a little indentation. You know what, don't even worry about it. It'll still be fine. Nobody's really going to see that. Okay? So there you go. This still needs to dry. You know what? Yeah, it's done drying. Okay, so there you go. I'm going to go ahead now and start putting this together, and we'll see how this comes together. So we have all of these petals made. Now, I got to figure out which way I want them to face. I'm going to put my head on the side like this. So I want the scales to be going this way, which means as you're going around this way, it's going to be, I'm going to be going left to right, because obviously I'm going to be working on the part that's closest to me to make it easy. So let's just imagine we're going to be going left to right. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. Now what I want to do, I'm going to take my Sharpie and mark a couple spots here. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to mark this where the crossbar is. I'm going to go in about 1 inch. Okay. Yeah, this fly is not leaving me alone. Okay, so I'm going to go about 1 inch over this way. So I'm going to go from the inside about 1.5, maybe 1 3/4. Okay, that's going to be my next one. And I'm going to move that over, count 1 3/4. So that's just about where I'm going to want to put my zip ties. And I'm just going to keep going all the way around and try to figure out where I want these. Okay, so yeah, 1 3/4. And try to keep going around that way just to give a good estimate of where I want to put these. Again, with the UITC board, everything is laid out for you, so you don't have to figure this out. So, but if you have nothing but time and you like to try to figure things out like I do, if you like to make things difficult, do it this way. Okay, so to put these together, I'm going to start right here put zip tie through the plastic canvas and around the outer edge. And then I'm going to put this in with the scale kind of facing me, okay? Next, I'm going to use the lime green. Again, the scale is going to be facing me, but I'm going to go in, and yes, you're going to have to go through these bars underneath, which makes it a little awkward, but it works. Gonna go down, skip a hole, and then come out the upper side. Okay. And then go in the hole and around the outer, or the, I'm sorry, the inner ring. And I'm going to do that with the emerald green. Okay, and I'm going to keep going around, but what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to flip-flop the green and the gold. Instead of keeping the same colors going around, I'm going to put the emerald green on the outside on this next one, but still keep the lime green in the middle. Okay, so we have this wreath done. Well, this part of the wreath done. I actually like how we are going between the gold and the emerald. It just gives it a little bit of a different look, and I think I like it. So I'm gonna leave it like this. I may adjust some of these a little bit just to make sure this is everything is even, okay? But this is basically done. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna go and take a look at what we're gonna do with the mask. Okay, so we have this mask here, and I started cutting this off. You can see this has a little strap that went across here, okay? And I'm just gonna cut this off, and hopefully that works. Hopefully I didn't mess anything up. But yeah, we're gonna have to figure out how we're going to attach this to the actual wreath itself. But what I'm going to do first is the eyes. Because this plastic is very smooth, my suggestion is to take some sandpaper. This is a very low grade sandpaper. I would probably go with something a little bit rougher but just kind of take that along the plastic on the inside. It'll help the glue to stick a little bit better, because we are going to put the eyes on a piece of felt and then attach just glue the felt to the back here. So let me show you how I'm going to do that. Basically, I just have a piece of black felt and one of these little glass eyes, and I'm just going to hot glue that onto the felt itself, which I've already done with this one. And I'm just going to hot glue that to the back here, and we'll see if that works. I heard that hot glue will not do the trick. I'm hoping that sanding it down will help. If it does not help, then I am going to try the E6000. We'll see if that does anything. So it's going to be all trial and error, but hey, let's try it, okay? So I'll meet you right back here and see what works. Okay, so I have both of the eyes glued onto the felt, and I am just looking to see like where I want to make sure, like where I'm going to put them on here. And you got to make sure like those lines are straight up and down, those pupils, and they seem to be pretty lined up pretty good. So I'm gonna like gently flip that over, and let's see if this hot glue holds. Okay, that one slid. Okay, I'll take this one off, but I'm gonna make sure that's where I want it to be. Okay. Well, that hot glue seems to be holding, so that's good. Okay. See, that eye's on there pretty good. I like where it is, so I will make sure this one is about the same. You got to make sure it's like from the same length from the inner corner, things like that. And I think that should work. Okay. Okay, so it looks to me like those eyes look pretty good. So I'm happy with them. Okay. And what I may do, I already took a Sharpie and kind of darkened, got rid of that red. I may go ahead, I am going to go ahead and take some of that black felt and stick that right there in the nostrils, just so nothing's showing through there. Okay, so yeah, nobody's going to see the back side of this, so nobody's going to worry about this felt here. But I'm going to try this without sanding it down to see if this hot glue will still hold the felt. I'm just curious if that was an extra step I didn't need to take. Let's try it up here too. I'm gonna let this cool down. Yeah, that was an extra step we didn't need to take. This this is holding on perfectly fine. So don't even worry about sanding that down. Just gonna go piece at the top here, and these at the bottom. Yeah, we want to make sure we don't get any glue through the nostril, but we just want to make sure nobody can see through the nostrils to the mesh that's behind it. Okay, so now I am going to try, I know people have kind of used this as a way to secure it to the wreath. However, what I'm thinking, I don't have that much width and I don't want to pull this around too much. So I'm going to actually use this down here. I'm going to make a couple holes down here and secure it. And I think instead of using a white zip tie, I have black. And I think that black will kind of blend in a little bit better. So let's see what it looks like. Okay, so I'm going to try poking some holes right here. Not even a half an inch, maybe just about a quarter of an inch from the edge of the mask. And I'm just going to use my scissors. If you have some kind of a hole punch, go ahead and use that. But yeah, I got that kind of through there. That's plenty wide enough. And I got one already made over here. And I have these 8-inch ties here, zip ties. Just going to stick that, well, I'm going to go from this direction, if I can. Yeah, I can. Kind of stick that in here. Okay. And then let's see if we can get this attached to the wreath very easily. Okay. And let's decide. I'll just go ahead and put it right here. And you may want to try to figure out, do you want to have more of the green showing right there at the front? You want more of the gold? You know, things like that. If you want to be that picky. I'm not going to be that picky as of right now because I just want to get this done. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of lightly secure it. And I'm using an 8-inch zip tie. Because as of right now, it's kind of, I want it to be a little bit loose. Okay. And then I'm going to take this side. Sure these are still sticking out. Kind of get that. Okay. I'll show you from the back side. I'm just going to kind of go in right about here, kind of go through a little bit of that plastic canvas just for extra security. Okay. Now we don't want this like sticking over the face, so yeah, we'll get that underneath there. And slowly secure each side a little bit more. We want to make sure this is facing forward. We don't want it to make it too tight on one side and have it facing inward. Okay. And that's on there. I mean, really, it's not shifting too much. Yeah, I think this is going to work. Okay, so now we got to worry about the wings and the tail. So, okay, so I didn't like where I had the head. I wanted it to have a little bit more of the body up on top and have the head kind of straight up and down lower. So I think I like this a little bit better. I just kind of had to angle that in a little bit more towards the center. And then I had taken off the zip tie there on that side and kind of just readjusted it. And I think I like this a little bit better. We have a lot more of the body up on top. So, I've got to fix this down here because I don't like the way that looks, but we're good. Okay, so now for the placement of the wings. What I did, I cut the straps off the back, and I'm going to go ahead and see what it would look like. I want to make sure, again, this head is up and down. And let's see how this looks. Okay. I think that's about center. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my finger right where I want to put the center of the wings. Okay. And that's right here. So I'm going to take a marker and just kind of mark. That's where we want the wings to be. Okay, so from that point, I'm going to go ahead and kind of put these wings on here. What I'm going to do to get that kind of how I used my scissors to put holes in here, I'm going to try doing the same thing. What I would actually love to do, I would love to see if I can get these off and use the holes that these created. That would be perfect. So I might go ahead and try that. I'm going to try it first. If it works, then I'll show you. Okay? Okay, I'm going to bring you down closer. Okay, I want you to see how I did this. Take a look at these. You can see it looks like a little screw head, and that's exactly what it is. You can unscrew these and take them off. maybe. Of course, since it's on video, there we go. And kind of just push this out. And there you have your own hole to attach the wings. And I'm going to do this here on the bottom too. Okay, that was really easy. See these little screw heads? And this was what was on the inside of there. They just popped out. So shove those to the side. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this over this way. I really don't think it matters which way, because like these bent in this way. We could do it this way. And just have that on the outside. I don't think it really matters which direction your wings are, but I'm just going to try it both ways. Well, I'm going to try it this way first, see what it looks like. Okay, I'm going to take that down, kind of again go either through the plastic canvas or just around that outer ring. Okay, because this is where, okay, that's not where I wanted it. This is where I want it. Okay, so I'm going to go through here. Kind of through that outer ring. Okay, I want to make sure you can see what I'm doing. Okay, and I'm just going to put that on, leave it loose. Okay, same thing over here. Make sure that that is kind of where I want the center to be. Make sure I'm like kind of staying with the center. Okay, that's not wanting to go through here for some reason. Okay, there we go. Again, I'm just going to leave it loose because I want to make sure that this is exactly where I want it to be. Okay. And so far that looks good. The only thing is this is kind of showing down here. So I did hear somebody mention about just taking like an X-Acto knife or something like that and cutting that off. But I'm thinking if I push this up far enough, we may not need to. So I'm going to try to, like, that's the reason I wanted to leave this loose up here. If I make it tighter up here, that'll make the wings go up a little higher. But it'll work. Okay, let's see. And just kind of get it through that bottom ring there. Same thing with this one, just through that bottom ring. I'll turn that around because unfortunately I had that going facing the wrong way. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to make these a little bit tighter so that lifts these wings up higher on the form. Okay, bring that around. Now they're still sticking out just a little bit. I may go ahead and take an X-Acto knife and trim that off. But I like where the wings are in comparison to the head. If you don't want these wings flapping too much, I'll show you on the back. You could always make a hole through there and kind of pin it to the sides here, just to kind of help stabilize it if you think it needs it. I don't think it's going to need it because they're not going to really go anywhere, right? So now we got to do something with the tail. Decide where we want the tail. I want the scales on the outside. So I'm thinking right across from the head, I want to put this over here. Okay. Now I could use this clip, but I don't think that's going to do a whole heck of a lot, so I'm not going to worry about the clip so much. Let's see, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put a hole right in here. And I'm going to keep going all the way through to the other side. Probably would be better if I had a hole punch, just because this is actually pretty thick over on this side because of the scissors. But I don't have a hole punch, so I'm using what I got. Okay. You can see right over here that that's just came out the other side. So let's hope we can get this zip tie to follow through there. Okay, good. It went through there. So, okay, let's see where I wanted that again. I didn't mark it. So, yeah, I'm thinking right about here. That should be good. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually use 2 of these, and I'm going to use part of that plastic canvas just to give it a little extra stabilization. Okay, you can see right here. Let me turn it around so it's a little easier for you to see what I'm doing. I'm going to use 2 of those rings, the outer rings, and I'm going through the plastic canvas. Okay. There we go. And I'm going to secure that down. Okay. I can always pull that out a little bit. Okay, I think we kind of got that pretty good. The only thing now we have to do is we got to find a place to hang this, right? We need a little loop up here. I probably should have done that before I actually attached the wings. I forgot about that. So let's cut these off. And I'm just going to use a zip tie to do that. I'll just use another black zip tie since I have that right here. Kind of get that through here for the top. Just kind of get it so to where it starts, and when you cut this off, that'll be good enough. So okay, so I have this kind of done. I'll show you a couple things that I did. I did take, well, a couple things. This actually did work to put the loop there. I was able to hang things up. But what I also did, see where we had those holes already? I went ahead and put a zip tie through there so we could use that to hang also. Okay? And I cut the bottom part off of these. Okay? It's just like a little, you can see it's black foam on the inside. I put that in there just because I thought, you know, they might want to, it's a little easier to hang than to find all this back behind everything. So we'll see if it works. Okay. And something else that I am going to change, the mask. I have it entirely too tight that it's smashing everything down here. So I'm going to kind of take it off, put the zip ties back in, just not as tight, and then I'm going to stick one up at the top here and kind of pull the top back because you can't even see the eyes. So yeah, I gotta adjust that a little bit, kind of get this to go back a little bit and the mouth to come a little forward. And then I think it's done. I think it looks good. So I will show you the adjusted one here after all this is over, okay? But thank you so much for watching. Again, my name is Patty Davis. I'm with Crooked Tree Creations, and I will see you later. You have a great rest of the day.